All right, this is it. We are officially on day one of the bootcamp, just before Q4. So this is like the perfect time for anyone new here to participate and get hooked with this bootcamp, because this is gonna be over 30 days long training, and I'm actually gonna be streaming this every single day, or at least I'm gonna try to. But one thing you know for sure is I'm gonna be posting every single day. Okay, and we're gonna be talking about a very specific topic every single day. So today is gonna be mainly about the foundations of starting any sort of business, but for this particular bootcamp is gonna be for organic dropshipping, but we're doing it more for the branded sort of way of marketing. So if you are just starting out with dropshipping, you've been in the game but haven't gotten your first sale, or you're already been doing it for a while, you've gotten some sales, you haven't reached your first 10k month or whatever specific goal you've had. In other words, you haven't found your winning product, then this is exactly the type of bootcamp training you need, because I was actually doing a challenge just before this bootcamp, and I was dedicating it for showing you pretty much everything I would do to build the brand from scratch. And I was like, okay, I reached the point where I showed the product. I literally did hours of product research. You could check it on my YouTube channel. I've actually posted all these product research hours long, and I've revealed a lot of winning products. Trust me, there's not a lot of worthy products to run nowadays. I'm more of a sniper in terms of finding products. I tend to find 1 to 2 products which are really, really good and run them for a long period of time with a higher percentage of making something in return, rather than hustling 5 products a month, and at the end of the day, or like at the end of the year, even worse, you end up with nothing in return. So not just whenever you see something going viral you would go and test it. No, you need to actually think about, why did it go viral? Will someone actually buy it? And is it brandable? That's the most important question. So yeah, obviously there's a lot to be spoken about. I shifted, or I merged the challenge to this bootcamp simply because I wanted to break down every single element to actually succeeding in dropshipping, and there's no better way to do it but now with the bootcamp. So today is going to be the mindset, another day might be the discipline, another day would be product research. In fact, day 2 is going to be product research. Okay, and I'm going to be showing you some really good products, really good examples. So yeah, day 1 is going to be about mindset, and this is like the foundation. Okay, for any business you need to build the foundations. And the reason why this is really important, especially for dropshipping organically, is because it's a type of business where you actually need a lot of patience and a lot of belief, self belief. It's almost like you gotta be delusional. So you're putting in the work every single day, and there's nothing paying off just yet, but you know that you've picked a winning product, you're replicating winning formats, winning content, and you're doing good content. Okay, because trust me, there's a lot of people, especially when they're not being overwatched, so nobody's looking at their content, telling them what to do, or simply they're not in an environment of like-minded people. They're gonna end up posting for months some really bad content, and then waste all this time wondering why they didn't go viral. So for that reason, you need the right mindset, but also you need the right environment. Okay, so I'm gonna break it down into a criteria of what you need to focus on in terms of building your foundation for having the right mindset to succeed. Okay, and this is gonna be based on not books. Okay, it's gonna be based on what I've learned over the past 3 years. So number 1 is gonna have to be speed, and this is by far one of the most important pillars. You need to have speed in pretty much everything you do, because what I've noticed is when I've had only one pump and dump product, which requires very minimal work, by the way, trust me, I've tested tens of products, and there's multiple factors which I could mention now, but I would rather keep all the sauce for a specific day for product research. some products would require less work than others, but the ROI, the return on investment, would be way higher. So you could pick a product which is gonna require you to go to the beach every day, and then you're gonna end up making like maximum 5K a month, versus a product where you could record at home every single day, and then you could scale it up to 100K per month. So that's the harsh truth about it. For that reason, product research is literally the most important part to seeing success. And obviously, the way you market it, the way you make your website, all the backend things do matter as well. So, speed, the reason I'm linking all of this to speed is because you need to constantly be doing something, okay? Whether you have a product which does not require a lot of time and you feel like you have a lot of free time in your day, that's where you realize, okay, I need to be doing something different. Do more product research, find more products, order them, okay? Or one of the, like, I'm talking this transparently and I've been an affiliate for others. One of the best things to do is actually to become an affiliate. There's no shame of becoming an affiliate because it's actually one of the best ways to learn even more. And the reason I'm telling you this is because you need to always be doing something. And when you find a lack of something, so you're not putting as much effort, you're not finding the right products, you're not testing enough products, you need to fill in the gap and be faster in picking new products, testing them, reaching out to new people, building connections in the e-com space, and so on. And the reason why this is really important, by the way, is because with everything there's an equal force opposite to it. So if you're really performing every single day and you're too busy that you don't have time to go out with your friends, then you're most likely gonna win, okay, in the long term. However, the opposite is also true. If you're just working an hour a day and then for the rest of the day you're just chilling and doing nothing, the speed is eventually gonna go down. There's no speed to begin with, actually. You're putting 1 hour a day and then you're just doing what the 99% would do, waste time. So this will cripple you, literally. This would literally make you feel like this is what people call depression, when you're not doing anything and then you start feeling like shit. That's pretty much what speed is about. When you're not doing enough things, naturally you're gonna feel bad, okay? So to counteract that, you need to be fast with your decisions, take more action, take more products, test them, and yeah, just take more action. So this was very crucial. First point was really crucial. So I want you to be implementing every single pillar I'm gonna mention on day 1 of the bootcamp. Point 2, environment. And this is, I would say, one of the main things which took me from point A to point B on my journey. I had to do a lot of research. I've watched a lot of YouTube videos, almost every guide you could think of. And for that reason, by the way, I started my own channel, because I used to watch these gurus and they would make a 10-hour guide on how to make a website. And trust me, for an organic dropshipper, that's the last thing you need to be thinking about. I've learned that 80% of your energy should be towards product selection and marketing, 20% into the backend, the website, payment processors, all the other stuff. So not a lot of people talk about this, okay? Especially back in the days. Nowadays, I see a lot of shift. People are trying to show how to make a website once again, like speedrunning website development. It really doesn't matter, guys. You need to actually put in the effort to finding the right products, marketing them, go viral, then make a website. You have AI could make you a really presentable website in like a few minutes, and then obviously you have to tweak it, which is going to take you a few hours. But I guarantee you in 2 to 3 hours, you have a perfect website, which is perfect to convert. So most of the work has to be done into bringing in leads and even setting up your accounts. For example, your Instagram. So yeah, how do you know all of this information? By surrounding yourself with the right environment. And yeah, that's what I did. So that's one, okay? That's the first factor to why environment is important, is because you start learning from your group of like-minded people. Next point is you wouldn't feel demotivated. You'd actually feel competitive. Whenever you're sharing results with your teammates or competitors, this is a crazy part. In competition, there's a lot of respect. So there's often times where I've tested a product and I've had competitors, and instead of envy, I would never have envy. In fact, I would always reach out, or they would reach out to me, and then we end up connecting. So that's actually another good way of networking. Network with your competitors. If they're doing something good, then they're good. To know instead of just envying or hating on each other. So always try to network. They're gonna increase your energy. They're gonna increase your competitiveness, your knowledge, your experience, all of the above. And next point is gonna have to be detach. Some people call this law of detachment. This is something which I've had to learn after I found my first winner. I did not really, like, obviously, when you're not finding the right product, you still have to be disciplined and unemotional on the moment. But also, when you, like, no one talks about this, when you actually find your first winner or whatever product that gets you sales, let's say you make $500 today, and then for the next week, you don't get a single sale. Many people would feel disrupted, like they wouldn't be able to even perform simply because they're not getting sales. Because they've set their dopamine, their standards so high that now they're expecting to get 5 sales every single day. So, or 10 sales or 20. So you need to be very unemotional in this game. For that reason, it's actually way better for you to adopt a mindset which is stoic. Stoicism is really important. And this could be applied to any, like, no matter what phase you're in your journey, whether you're starting out or you're already testing products, you need this pillar in your mind. You need to rewire your mind to just stop thinking in terms of emotions. Whether you generate sales or not, you're going to put the same amount of hours that you would put on a perfect day. For that reason, the number one thing you need to be doing every single time you feel like you're stuck is to write down what are the things you should be doing and then just execute. Okay, you shouldn't be thinking about what's going on in the moment. Instead, just put in the work on what has to be done. And this takes us to the next point, which is discipline. We're gonna have a separate day for discipline because I'm not just gonna talk about it, I'm actually gonna be showing you how to practice it, how to set up your Google Calendar, and just how to set up these mind frames where you could rewire your mind to always be doing something, because that's what discipline is all about. There's one quote by Hormozy which I've liked a lot. He said, "There's no better time to make money than now in 2025. However, there's no better time than now to be distracted." And that's so true, because at this time and age, there's so many distractions. In fact, every single time I open my social media pages just to post, I sometimes lack and I find myself scrolling for 5 to 10 minutes just before I post. So it's a big problem for a lot of people. And if you could fight back and stop wasting time, be disciplined, put in the work, don't get along with the 99% wasting time, then you're gonna get along a long way, okay? It's gonna make more sense once I show you the Google Calendar strategy, because you need to basically have something to be done every single day, and you need to plan the day after as well if you can. I personally prefer to do it in the morning, so every morning I try to get some sunlight. While I'm getting the tan, I write down on my calendar what I want to do. This works for me. Whatever works for you, you could go for that. But what I'm trying to say is, you need to, whether you have a Google Calendar or not, by the way, all you have to think of is, if you catch yourself wasting time, stop and do something productive. Okay. Now you might be wondering, what should I be doing? So let's say you're testing your first product, you just posted. Most of the time you're gonna chill. You're just gonna sit down and chill. No, you're gonna either do product research, you're gonna try to analyze your content, see what performed the best, split test it, or you're gonna see your competitors, see what have they done recently, record it, record something similar to it, or even better. All of these elements, like there's so many tasks to be done. You could create tasks out of thin air. So you just need to constantly be improving. It's all about improvement, 1% a day. Set of, or this mindset is gonna change your life, because you're not gonna start wasting time. Like whenever someone tells you to go out, you're most likely gonna say no. Why? Because you're gonna feel like it's gonna waste your potential, where you could have put in it into something else with higher ROI. And that's what it's all about. That's why they call it the lonely chapter, right? You need to sacrifice some things for something more beneficial for you. So yeah, after discipline, the last point is manifestation. And this is very similar to confidence, belief, whatever you want to call it. All what manifestation is, because I know this is like a little bit of an infamous word, but trust me, it's real for many reasons, okay? This has been studied and spoken about since dawn of time. All I'm gonna say about this topic or manifestation is you need to have this delusional self-belief. So whether you're struggling right now, where you're at, or whether you're starting to see some progress, doesn't matter where you're at, you need to have this self-belief that it's gonna work out in the end. And the way you develop that is by doing this one quick trick, which I've seen a lot of different methods of how you could manifest, but my personal best is writing down 20 things. You bring a piece of paper, and then you write down 20 points, okay? 20 points of not a competitor, not a different human being, but you. So your competitor, your number one villain is you, okay? You're gonna make this imaginary person who is yourself in a different realm, who basically does everything perfectly. And you're gonna write down the 20 things he has achieved and what he does on a day-to-day basis. How does he dress? What sort of activities does he do? Does he train? Does he get sunlight? Where does he work? How much does he earn? All sorts of things. The more specific, the better, because all what you're trying to do here is you're developing an idea. You're creating this person in your mind who is basically better than you in every single dimension. And this is gonna, instead of making you feel insecure because it's not a different person, it's actually gonna motivate you, because you know this person could be me. So when you write these things, and be specific, read it down for, I don't know, a few days. I personally don't read it every day. I had made it like once. I've read it every week, and then eventually I had it in my mind that, these are the set of goals which the 1% of me would do. And yeah, you just gotta do the same. Trust me, the reason this is important, by the way, I'll give you like the summary of manifestation. All what manifestation is creating this imaginary self-belief of yourself, preferably in the form of an idea of you owning what you want. And what this is going to do is you're going to subconsciously rewire your mind to take every single decision which is in favor of this imaginary person you've created in your mind. So to give you an example, you are facing an obstacle, a challenge, and what you're going to naturally do after reading this list of 20 factors or 20 achievements the better you has achieved, you're gonna start to naturally take the sort of decisions which are more likely to upgrade your life to become that person. So it's all about rewiring your subconscious mind. That's what it's all about. And yeah, this was a quick breakdown to show you what are the 5 pillars of having, let's call it an iron will, iron mind, to see success. And this is applicable to any sort of business, honestly, but it is more important, more crucial for dropshipping organically, because once again, we don't see results like this. There's a lot of fake gurus out there, a lot of course sellers, which just show you the lifestyle you want to see, gives you fake promises, and then you think it's easy, you get started, 1 month in, 6 months in, 1 year in, and you don't see results, you quit. That's what the majority does. So for that reason, you need to, number one, environment, have the right environment. And by the way, if you're looking for an environment, trust me, I have been suffering from this since day one. I would have learned way faster if I was surrounded by like-minded people, if I had someone to watch which was actually transparent and I could trust. So for that reason, I'm doing this for the older me, okay, for the young me. I've already have made a new Discord. It's completely free, no courses, nothing, okay. The only thing I have to offer is affiliate marketing. If you would like to be part of my team, you could join my affiliate. You're gonna have calls with me twice a week and commission. So there's nothing to be sold here, okay? Just making that clear from now. So yeah, Discord is gonna be the environment for our case, because trust me, physically it's really difficult for you to find like-minded people in terms of dropshipping. And this is coming from experience. I've went to minimum of 5 networking events in Dubai, and not a single ecom guy, let alone organic. We're talking ecom. So paid ads, anything, nobody. Everyone's doing affiliate marketing, or by affiliate I mean like UGC. So they have like a personal brand and then they do paid advertisements for people, or they have an agency, crypto, yeah, this sort of stuff. So, or course sellers, a lot of them, I can't lie. So yeah, that's why we made this Discord. It's actually my old Twitch Discord, which I've rebranded, because I'm all in on this, and I think you should too, whether you're watching this from my Twitch or whether you're new here. Trust me, if you're starting from nothing, organic dropshipping is the way to go, because you could actually build a brand, okay? And you don't need any capital. It's completely free. The only thing you need to pay for is, the website, the product, and then you're good to go. And this is not a get rich quick scheme, trust me. This is actually one of the hardest business models. I'm saying this from now. This is day 1 of the bootcamp. So if you're courage enough to take this challenge and keep on going with me, okay? It's gonna be over 30 days bootcamp training session. If you are courage enough to take this challenge, you're gonna have a higher chance of achieving what you want. And I'll be so transparent that I'm gonna show you my product. I'm risking a really good product on the line for you guys, okay? So yeah, that was I think that's it for today. I'm not sure how long this was, but it's really important that I show you guys the basics, the mindset, the foundation to redirect to, okay? Every single time we're gonna face a problem, we're gonna redirect to these 5 pillars, because these are what's gonna keep us going. And this is what has worked for me in the past. I still apply them till this day. And trust me, these are what you need to focus on for now. So your task for today is create this list, okay? Create this imaginary person of you. It's way better than any other thing you could think of in terms of like creating this energy. Like if you want to create this energy of competitiveness, you're better off creating a competitor which is literally you, but in a different dimension, than envying someone who has had different life, different starting point, which is completely unfair for you. So create your list and see where you're lacking. What pillar did you not implement till this day, and apply it. Okay, because this will set you up for the next whatever days this bootcamp is gonna have. Okay. The only thing which I might have missed here is having an iron word. So whatever you say, you do it. And trust me, this is something which for the longest time I did not take seriously. But for the past year or two, I've taken this very strictly. It's a trick, it's literally a hack for you to create energy, create motivation out of thin air. So, something you don't want to do, and you found your environment, speak it to them. Okay, just say to them that you're gonna do what you want to do, and this is gonna put you accountable. You're gonna have to freaking do it. So, yeah, I think that's the last point that I wanted to touch before we call it for the day. So I hope this was helpful, boys. This is just the start. This will make you ready for the next days of the bootcamp, and you need to implement this. If you want to see success, you need to implement these elements. So without any more so yeah, apart from that, I'm gonna be seeing you on day 2. It's gonna be about product research, so it's gonna be more about dropshipping, and I'll try to be as simple with the terminologies and I'm gonna break down all the basics in case you're new here into dropshipping. So yeah, this is gonna be like for any sort of level, whether you're starting out or not. And what I've mentioned today was applicable to everyone. So yeah, that's it for today. That's day 1. See you in the next one.